Hello and welcome. I am Exelite and this is my channel. Tonight we're going to go on a little shopping trip and we're going to see what we can find that's haunted, strange, weird, possessed, all of the above. Before we get started, if you would please like this video and give it a thumbs up, I would appreciate that. And also, if you are not subscribed and you would like to be, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And if you'd like to be notified when my content goes live, go ahead and click that bell. Now I know that you like this type of segment where we go shopping for strange items, so I decided, what the heck, let's invite you tonight. So we're going to head on over to eBay, see what we can find, see if there's anything you're interested in, and if so, let me know. Here we go. This antique frame photograph was from an estate sale in Vermont near the old Vermont State Hospital, alternately known as the Vermont State Asylum for the Insane. It was a mental institution built in 1890. By today's standards, treatment of patients was primitive and at times barbaric. Typically, women and severe epileptic patients were tied to wooden benches with, quote, camisoles, which secured their arms in back of them. Hydrotherapy. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Something you'd go to the spa for? Not so much. This is where patients were immersed in continuous baths or placed in wet sheet packs and, quote, colonic irrigation, which people do pay quite a large amount of money for these days, were standard treatments for disruptive patients. Some patients were even subjected to lobotomies. A few photos from this hospital are shown in this listing. And naturally, I will put a photo of this insane asylum on this video. The estate seller said that in the early 1900s, the woman of the house had worked as a nurse at the asylum. This large framed photograph is of this very nurse. Sadly, the terrible things she experienced in the hospital took a toll on her, and she developed, quote, acute anxiety, and not wanting to be committed to the hospital herself, she took her own life by hanging herself in the very attic that this photo sat in. The current homeowner said that she has heard screams from the attic and decided to have a sale to purge any remaining belongings. She felt the spirit or the ghost of this nurse. She believes it lives on in the grim portrait. So, if you want this photo of this nurse, head on over to eBay. See if you can hear some screaming in your attic. Next, let's take a look at this antique vintage doll. The seller says, I bought this doll from a private collector back in September, thinking it would fit well in my horror monster collection. Let me say this first. I have several vintage dolls and have never once had the feeling or issues that I've had with this particular doll. But I know very little about antique dolls. The owner told me it was from the 1920s. However, I'm not an expert. The doll is not in the best condition. It has tons of cracks and marks. Please see the pics as they will be your best source of the condition. I thought it would add to the creepy look. Little did I know it would have the effect it did on me. Now, what I will tell you, ever since I purchased this doll, I have felt extremely uncomfortable around it. For some reason, I get a very uneasy and a very dark and depressing feeling when I'm around it. I was going to sell it around Halloween, but I didn't want it to come across as gimmicky, so I waited and thought I was just being dramatic. Well, the first week after I bought it and put it in place, I went down to do laundry and I heard a crash. I ran out to look, and about 2 feet away from the doll, a large and extremely heavy mug just fell off the shelf and was completely shattered. I looked at everything, and nothing I could see or find would cause a mug of this size and weight to just fall over. when or if you do buy this doll, you will see that there is something in its eyes that just does not seem right. Not to mention that the eyes move within the doll's head, which is just very unsettling on its own. The final thing I will add, besides all the odd noises I hear from the shelf this doll is sitting on when I'm working in my basement, is this. When I first brought the doll home, I set it on the floor to show my kids and wife. I have 2 pugs that are extremely friendly and rarely bark. But for some reason, neither one of my dogs would come into the living room, and one of them barked like crazy until I picked it up and put it on the counter. We all laughed at it then, but now I just want it out of my house. I'm starting the bid for exactly what I paid for it. It is being sold as is, and there are no returns. So, take a look at this doll. One thing I have to agree about is that its eyes are very unsettling. I think we're going to have to pass on this. But if you'd like it, head on over to eBay. This next item I simply could not pass on. Why? Well, because I think it encompasses weird, creepy, strange, bizarre. I'm not sure about haunted or possessed, but I would think that it's possible. The description for this is simply black magic object, lemon, and pins. Yes, that's all you need to know. It is a rotted, looks like it's bleeding profusely, nasty, moldy lemon on some paper with pins stuck in it. I don't know what good this would do, or if somebody just grabbed this out of the garbage and thought, let's try and sell this for $9. But if you want black magic lemon with pins, I'd say you better hurry up because it's disintegrating quickly. And finally, shrunken head, possessed, haunted, cursed item, beware. I've had this shrunken head toy for almost 15 years now. It belonged to the drummer of a heavy metal band, and before that it belonged to the guitarist and singer of another popular underground heavy metal band. To protect the privacy of the folks who passed it along to me, I will not mention the group's names. They were from the Maryland, D.C. area, however, and my mind is spinning. If you have any ideas, let me know, because I gotta figure this one out. This particular item contained a human finger in its nose for many years. I think this qualifies as creepy and weird. Ticks those boxes off. Which has since been returned to its owner. Also creepy and weird, but the shrunken head still possesses some essence of a spirit. If you want to own a real possessed item, here is your ticket. But it is very precious to me, and I don't want to give it up for less than my asking price. I would even go so far as to say it's brought me luck here and there. I've seen it, and it seems to breathe on occasion. This item is being sold for a whopping $899, and it doesn't include the human finger, which is probably a good thing. If you would like this haunted mask, head on over to eBay. All right. Thank you for coming on this shopping trip with me. We'll do it again soon. If you have found any items in your shopping that you'd like to share with me so that I can put on this channel and tell others about, please go ahead and drop that below. We'll all go shopping together. Good night.